Hey, Al Wisniewski here with Land and Legacy Group, talking about what happens after you get an accepted offer. So this will apply whether you're a buyer or a seller, and everything leading up to an accepted offer can be fun, it can be stressful, it can feel daunting, it can feel easy. It all depends on how that experience has gone. But when you do get an accepted offer, there is a lot of, I would say, nervousness, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of mixed emotions because you've done so much up until that point, and then you get an offer accepted, and then you have to get right into working again to make sure that everything goes according to plan, everything goes according to the offer terms, and then you do reach a closing. Now, I wish I could say every deal after getting an accepted offer closes, but there are certain things that can and will go wrong that cause that offer to fall through. But really, in this video, what I want to do, and I'm going to hop over to a screen share in a little bit, is just take you through what I do as a broker when I'm getting an accepted offer. I break down that offer, I put it on on an offer sheet, and then make a checklist, and then get it out to the people that actually need to handle the next step in the offer and the closing process. So let's hop over to that screen share right now and start breaking down an offer and going through what happens after your offer gets accepted. All right, so here I'm diving into the actual offer. So this one is obviously blank, but I actually shared a link to this document in the last video that I did about why it's so hard to make an offer. But what I'm doing in this is obviously this one is blank. So when you reach an accepted offer, this stuff will all be filled out. You got the buyer's name, the address, purchase price, and then you will have, depending on the type of offer that you choose to submit and that ultimately gets accepted, these boxes could be checked off to include these contingencies. These are probably the most common ones for vacant land. And then you have obviously survey, inspections, your financing, appraisal. So all these contingencies could be included, but it all depends on the type of offer that you're comfortable with and that ultimately gets accepted. So this is the 12-page vacant land offer to purchase. So then what we do after we get an accepted offer is I go through the offer again, and I want to prepare a sheet for the title company and then also a checklist for the title company and the buyer. So I have I try to keep everything super, super simple. So I just call it an offer sheet and checklist. And so what that all entails is filling out the purchase price, the acceptance date, the closing date, and the tax ID numbers. Now, all this, except for maybe the tax ID numbers, it depends who is drafting the offer. If I'm drafting the offer, I always put tax ID numbers in there. It's a good property identifier, and it also helps the title company when they're doing their search. So all this information here is going to come from the actual offer itself. And then we want to start pulling in the seller and buyer information, because this is what the title company will start to use to piece everything together and prepare the closing documents. So you have the seller name, who the seller is working with, their individual agent, that agent's phone and email, how much commission they're owed, and then the title company that is going to be handling that side of the transaction. And then for the buyer side, it's the exact same, except obviously it's just for the buyer. So we have the buyer's name, the buyer's company, or I'm sure the buyer's firm, the agent that the buyer's working with, their phone number and email, how much commission they're owed. And then if they are doing a finance sale, we would put the lender that they're working with, because oftentimes the title company will handle the lender's title policy. And even if they don't, you got to have that communication for when those funds start to show up and they start preparing all the closing documents and getting everything ready for closing. So that's the title sheet, or I call it the offer sheet. But that'll help the title company get started on all of their processes. From there, we start making a checklist. And again, I keep this just super simple because we don't need to complicate things. As you can see, this is already a complicated document. I mean, it's 12 pages, and there's going to be addendums and all this other stuff. This, by the time you're done with an accepted offer, this could easily be 25 to 40 pages, depending on what's all included. So we want to make it simple. And this is obviously not going to line up with the offer because the offer I had before was blank. But this is how I break everything down. We'd have in this offer that this checklist was made for, we had earnest money, it was a cash deal, so we had proof of funds, and the buyer was going to do a walkthrough after acceptance. And you can see when those dates were due. And we have, the earnest money amount. We have that. We have who it's going to be held by. I just backed out what that was. And then the seller had some things to do as well. So we have the contingency title and then when it's due. And then I also like to put a couple of notes in here as well, because the reason I had acceptance and closing on this is because I had actually sent it to somebody else and I didn't have the offer sheet because that just went to the title company. But then I just have other notes about the transaction that are helpful to remember. So when we get to closing, we make sure, yes, all these contingencies are satisfied. They were done on time, or we extended them, then we can change them in here. And then also some notes just to make sure we check before closing. A big one is this earnest money one. It was non-refundable after the survey and walkthrough. So we need to remember that in case something went south on this deal. So once I have this completed, I'll download it as a PDF and then merge it with the offer and send that off to the title company. Some title companies on their website will have forms that you can fill out actually on their website and submit it right through that. I've done that before. I just find this a lot easier, a lot simpler, and I can send it all as one document. So it would be the offer sheet, the checklist, and then all the offer documents would be below that, and that would just get emailed right to the title company so that they can get started. And then when I'm done with that, I'll make another one that gets sent to the person that I'm working with. So whether it's a buyer or a seller, they'll get the offer, the full offer, and then they'll also get a checklist. So they'll get this version of it just for them to keep it handy, keep an overview of everything. I check on this like multiple times a week. And then also, since I update my clients every Friday, I'm always going through this. So instead of just having a printed version on my end, which I always do, I will also create calendar events on my Google Calendar for when these are due. So it'll say the property address and then the contingency, and then I also make that red so that when I have like my monthly or weekly calendar view, it stands out. So I know, on October 14th, there was earnest money due for this transaction. And it's just a reminder to say, okay, let's make sure that this gets taken care of. If it's not done by that date, then we know we have to address that as part of either a notice or an amendment or just some open dialogue with each parties. So that's just how I keep track of everything. And it's just a system that, not every agent is doing it this way. It's just a system that I've developed over the years. And like I said many times, I just wanted it to be super simple, super easy to understand, and just broken down in nice, easy text. And then just using a little bit of technology with the calendar to make sure everything gets taken care of. So that is it for what to do or what happens after you get an accepted offer. Thanks for checking out this video. Please remember to subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, video topic ideas, please drop a comment below, and I'll be sure to get back to you on that. And if it's a video topic, I'm always looking for video topics. So would love to hear some, and I'm happy to record videos based on what people would like to see. So thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.